Alright, we're recording. Alright. What are you giggling about?
I feel ridiculous.
Don't worry, we're all ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, really. I bet I'm gonna be like so into listening to you guys when it gets to my parts. I'm just gonna be like, what?
That's okay. That's why I'm going to edit it.
Yep.
Alright.
What are you talking about? We don't need editing. We're professionals.
I think it's
Sure.
funnier. Don't edit
Let's just
it.
see how this goes before we decide whether we're professionals or not. Chapter 1. ... Where I get claimed. My gray eyes satred back at me from the fountain, sad like the end of a summer storm. Luke was dead. ... Percy Jackson killed him last year on Olympus. I groaned as I sat up in bed. I had a dream last night where I was claimed. I didn't know my parents ever. I was an orphan on the streets of NYC City, until a family on a farm took me in, but soon I was bullied by their daughter Brittany, with 4 different coach purses and bitchy blonde hair. She called me a freak because I had sliver eyes, black hair I cut by my sleeve so it was uneven, and wore the same leather jacket every day. One day I had enough, so I ran away, only to find my way to Kronos' army. ... And Luke. I was a demigod! I knew I claimed today because demigod dreams are like that. We're not like normal people. I smiled to myself because I hated cabin number 11. The other demigods were mean and bullied me because I wasn't claimed, so they always talked about how evil monsters were, but Luke and I knew better because the monsters in the army weren't evil. They were actually misjudged because they worked for Kronos, but many had good hearts. A Drachema saved my life once from an evil rapist when I was in the streets.
Rizzles.
Alright. So, here's Annabeth. So...
I know, but I was not expecting that. I was reading so intently with you, and then all of a sudden... Hey, Flavia, you talking to your monster friend?
Laughed Annabeth, Percy's slutty girlfriend. She is blonde and a bitch, and from Athena, who are all like that. She used to have a crush on Luke, but she never had a chance. ... Luke told me himself the only one love was me, before he died. My eyes blazed wrathfully. I knew she meant my BFF Ivy, the dryad. Ivy was bullied by the other DM gods because she is a dryad, and they hate dryads because they are monsters. F off! My godparent is powerful to defend Ivy. She has no friends. Annabeth sneered.
You have no godparent. You're not claimed, and nobody will claim you ever.
She put the headphones back on, listening to 1D, like a slut. I could feel a tear went down my face as Annabeth went away. Ivy came out from behind cabin 11 and I could see she was crying. You heard her? I said. Ivy was crying chlorophyll, which looked like normal crying but green, because she was a dryad. Because dryads are from trees which have chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll?
Yes.
It's not fair. You will never be claimed.
What?
I know. You will be claimed. I know it.
I'm crying.
My parents are dead.
Okay. Okay. She hugged me and I felt better. I wiped the tears off my face and looked in the fountain where we were sitting, by cabin 11. Now my jet black hair with a wave at the back of the neck has a white streak that was from depression when Brittany bullied me, but I think it looks nice so I kept it. I have silver gray eyes, which is why Luke called me Moonlight. I wiped away another tear when I thought this. It hurt so much to think of him killed after all we'd been through together. But the moon reminded me, what if I am a daughter of the moon goddess, Artemis? Ivy shook her head.
Artemis is a virgin. That means she can't have kids. Like, ever.
Artemis is my fave goddess. She looks kind of like me, but her hair is ginger, and she has a silver bow and arrows. I saw her once with all these girls that follow her and also have silver bows and arrows, but that's not the same as being her daughter, which in my heart I wished I was. But wishes don't come true. I knew young this world was not a fairy tale field. Lies and danger are like dark clouds above us, especially if you're a demigod like I was. We walked over by some demigods practicing with swords and axes and mace, and I took out my bow and made a perfect bullseye in the target. Annabeth flipped me off because she is jealous I am the only DM god in camp who uses a bow and arrows.
Bullshit. Annabeth.
Yelled the centaur stood nearby. He is Chiron, the leader of Camp Half-Blood, a centaur, half-horse, and half-man. He is 17. Look, I know he is old in the book, but this is my story, so don't flame. And his long dark hair wiped in the wind above his chest. He looked sad, because Kronos was his father before he was killed into Tartarus, and Chiron was all depressed about it, and he spent all his time in the big house by himself. Only now he came out looking wrathful. Oh god, good luck, Annabeth.
After your night in a Trentagma.
Yelled Annabeth, except in Greek, because she wants to look smarter, but it was a lie. I wasn't a jerk. ... She was.
Why are you always causing trouble? No, trouble when we practice, Annabeth?
Chiron said with his mighty centaur eyes flashing.
You are jealous because Percy is your BF, and you think we will let you do whatever it is that it is.
Try again. That was so bad.
Let you do what you want, is that it?
But Ivy gasped and pointed at my head.
Look, Chiron!
No, this is Creon.
I'm gonna switch between those so much. Because in my head it just auto-corrects it.
You're not... You're reading it...
I know.
The right way. You're supposed to read it the wrong way.
Chiron, Creon.
Suddenly everyone looked at me, even Annabeth, and they all kneeled. I raised my hand to flip them off, but then I looked up and saw shining like a thousand moonbeams, a silver stag on my head, and also silver hounds and a bow and arrows, and a thin curvy moon, which was silver. It was so beautiful I cried, also because I knew what it meant. ... I was claimed by Artemis! I stood in awe as the other demigods covered up their eyes because it was too bright.
This cannot be,
Said Chiron.
Artemis is a virgin? Well, no, she is not,
Said Ivy.